You shared sensitive data in good faith and now it's public. Confidentiality clauses aren't just nice to have, they can be critical to protecting your sensitive information. We're looking at confidential information in this video. Now let's get into it. Confidential information tends to be information that's sensitive to one of the parties. You might need to share such information as part of a deal. However, you don't want the receiving party to share it with anyone else, especially with someone who doesn't need access, or who might use it to your disadvantage. How does it work in practice? Well, it depends on where you are in your contract journey. If you've recently started discussions with another party and you need to share something sensitive, then you can enter into a non-disclosure agreement, which is sometimes called an NDA. This means that such information should only be used for the purpose that is mentioned in the NDA. If you're ready to enter into a contract for the supply or purchase of goods or services, then it's typical to have a boilerplate confidentiality clause. You can see our separate video on boilerplate clauses. Should you care about this? Well, it's typical to address confidentiality in template contracts, but it becomes even more important when you'll be sharing sensitive information that you don't want the other party to share with anyone else or for any purpose other than what you allow. Let's look at a practical example together. Finance Solution Supplier Limited is bidding for a contract with Private Company Limited. Supplier proposes a highly innovative financing solution that significantly improves the customer's cash flow. What could go right for the supplier? Let's say the supplier knows their solution is highly innovative and gives them a competitive advantage over other bidders. The supplier might say to the customer, "Look, we really want to make you an offer, but first, we need for you to sign an NDA. This ensures you can only use our offer to evaluate it and decide if you want to award us the contract. You can't share details of our highly innovative financing solution with any other party, especially not with another bidder." What could go wrong for the supplier? If the supplier submits their bid without having an NDA in place, then they face a higher risk. I've seen invitations to tender, also called request for proposals, where customers say they own bidders' offers, including the solutions described, and can disclose the contents to others. The customer may potentially share the highly innovative financing solution with other bidders. This dilutes the competitive advantage of the supplier and can negatively impact on their market position. Let's look at a sample clause together now. Confidential information is information that a party shares with the other party in any form, including email. It includes, then you describe any confidential information that you plan to share, such as business ideas or plans, the product of research and marketing information, or anything else that is relevant. To identify what information should be treated as confidential, you've got two main options. The first option is to incorporate a catch-all statement. This essentially means all information that one party discloses to the other should be treated as confidential. The second option is to be precise. If there's something specific that you're going to disclose that you want the other party to treat in confidence, then mention it in the definition of confidential information to make sure it's protected by the confidentiality obligations. The clause continues. Confidential information does not include information that A is or becomes available to the general public, B is known to a party before receipt from the other party, or C, a party receives from another party who does not break an obligation of confidentiality to the sharing party to the receiving party's knowledge. It's typical to see A, B, and C in a contract as exceptions to when the obligation of confidentiality would apply. In other words, if you share confidential information with me, but then A, B, or C applies, then I'd be able to use that information in the way that I want. The clause continues. A party may share confidential information of the other party with a government or judicial authority if it is required to do so, but will promptly inform the disclosing party. This clause reflects a certain reality. If an official authority requests that I share information with them, even if it's someone else's confidential information, then I often won't be able to withhold it without facing severe consequences. Whilst I might have to disclose information to the authority, I can at least inform the contract party who shared the information with me. This gives them the opportunity to try and intervene, or take whatever action they deem appropriate to try and protect their information. Let me recap the most important points from this video. First, use an NDA when you're starting discussions that are confidential in some way, and use confidentiality clauses when you subsequently enter into a contractual relationship. The NDA and confidentiality clauses have the same purpose, but apply at different stages in the contract journey. Second, be precise about what you're protecting. You can use a catch-all definition of confidential information that covers everything, but if you intend to share specific sensitive information, then identify it clearly. And finally, keep it practical. A confidentiality clause should protect your information without making it impossible for the other party to perform their obligations. If you're ready to speak with an expert or to hire a lawyer, then check out starletcontracts.com, where we will help you to retain a lawyer or law firm to address your requirements. I look forward to seeing you there.